No rest for wicked Vikings. They had their ups and downs, but now they released like the breach refine. So is this like a sort of a overhaul of the game? That is freaking amazing if it is. So we're gonna of course take a look, see what they've been cooking, because this game looks good. There's so many of these games. Shit, and we're so behind on these type of games, but I like them. But no rest for the wicked Vikings. The breach refined. Damn, it looks good. Yeah. Wicked inside a breach refined.
Hey everyone. On April 30th, we released The Breach, a huge content update for No Rest for the Wicked. We are incredibly proud of the content that we shipped and how The Breach expanded No Rest for the Wicked.
Oh yeah, that was something else.
We did face some initial balance hiccups. Some fights were overtuned, some scaling wasn't quite right. But thanks to your feedback, we were able to identify the problems quickly and ship 4 hotfixes right after launch to stabilize balance and clean up the rough edges. But while those fixes were going out, and while we are already hard at work on our multiplayer co-op update, we also wanted to perfect what we had started with The Breach. A full patch that directly responds to your requests, suggestions, and feedback. Today, I'm happy to show you what's coming for The Breach Refined.
Okay. Realm tier difficulty. Why doesn't why doesn't every game like MMO has this? World tiers. I mean, when it comes to looter shooters, I don't know, like AA, RPG, whatever. Like, why don't a lot of these have world tiers at launch? I mean, it should be at in the launch version, just to make the grind a little more fun, a little more difficult, and the rewards better. You know, like, I don't get it. I'm not a developer. Maybe it's hard. Maybe, but at the same time, okay, delay the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the few who cares about it. But I mean, like, world tiers. It should be a staple, in my opinion. Should be.
One of the most requested features was giving players more control over difficulty. So we've decided to introduce realm tiers. You will now be able to choose between multiple difficulty settings for your realm.
About time, huh?
Making Wicked more approachable for new players, while also offering an even greater challenge for those who want.
It's a given.
When creating a realm, players will now be able to choose their own path. The path of the Torn makes things more forgiving. Enemy health and damage are tuned down, and combat is a bit more relaxed. Players who have always been struggling with No Rest for the Wicked ought to find the right experience for them right here.
The combat looks freaking good, huh? What the hell? It looks... Have you seen that shit?
Are tuned down, and combat is a bit more relaxed. Players who have always been struggling with No Rest for the Wicked ought to find the right experience for them right here.
Yeah?
The Path of the Chosen is the experience you've come to know and love. It represents the challenge we think most players are seeking. The Path of the Unspoken is aimed to turn things up to 11.
Like, this gameplay is like the camera view and all is really different from all the others in this genre. It looks a lot more cinematic and it looks so smooth compared to Diablo, huh? Shit balls.
The Path of the Unspoken is aimed to turn things up to 11. More aggressive enemies, and combat requires more of a dance with your foes. Your life will be harder, but in some ways also more rewarding. You'll be able to switch your tier at any time from the newly introduced Realms menu.
That's
so
good.
you're always in control of how tough your run should be.
Okay. Well, that's good. Shit, yeah. Utility runes and fast travel?
In our current live builds, utility runes...
They don't have fast travel? That's weird. They don't have fast travel? Isn't that like... I just find that like it's... Is that in every game? That should be in the game like since forever.
Weapons like damage surge and heal aura had to be slotted into a weapon, which wasn't ideal. For the Breach Refined, you can now equip up to 4 utility runes directly on your character.
Ooh.
So if you want to throw down a heal after a fight, or light up a pitch-black dungeon with Illuminate, you can now do that without first juggling your weapon loadout. It feels really simple and elegant. You will now also start with the heal rune equipped by default. This way, players can choose to heal either with focus or through consumables right away.
Okay, W.
We've also made some major changes to our fast travel mechanics.
Ah,
We're introducing
improvements.
Elder Whispers. These are your key travel hubs. You can fast travel between them freely. And if that still isn't enough for you, we're also introducing a whole new feature, Whisper Offerings. You can now make offerings at all non-Elder Whispers to unlock fast travel on those as well.
Okay.
And as you might imagine, we have a lot of things planned for Whisper Offerings. But
it looks good.
For future content updates.
Ooh, okay. Gem extractions and
We
combat
heard you.
polish.
Gems are rare, and nobody wants to lose one just because they changed gear. So in Breach Refined, you can now destroy and extract gems that you slotted into your gear. Destroying the gem will simply remove it from your item.
Was this in early access when it released? I mean, so far it seems like it. I mean, they've been cooking. They had some issues with the... hold on. They had some issues with... Maybe not issues. But it seemed like they just canned the whole game, stopped the development. So people were mad. Like, it was almost a year since last update. So people were just, okay, are we really gonna buy this? Are we really gonna support them? What is happening? No update. But now, they've been cooking. And it looks freaking amazing. The cinematic view. The smoothness of the combat. The art style. Ha! The features. W.
Extracting the gem means you'll get the gem back, but on common and masterpiece gear, the item stays intact upon extraction.
Ooh!
On magical, plagued, and unique gear, the item will break upon gem extraction. We think that's a fair trade.
Yeah,
and
it
it
is.
gives players way more freedom to swap builds without losing valuable upgrades.
Ledge protection and fall damage. Ooh.
We have also added ledge protection. Yes, we've heard all of your complaints. You're out and about or deep inside the crucible. You launch into a heavy attack and bam, you fling yourself off a cliff.
Yep.
Well, for Breach Refined, we took care of this issue. Your character will now always stop right before they fling themselves off ledges.
Nice.
Another common frustration was fall damage, so we've reduced fall damage overall. You still can survive a drop from 3 stories up, but you won't lose tons of health just for misjudging a ledge either.
Range combat and combat responsiveness.
One of the more controversial changes in Breach was constraining ranged actions around focus. And yeah, we get it. Players wanted to play as archers or spellcasters without gating every shot behind a resource meter.
Yeah.
So for Breach Refined, base spells and bows now use stamina again. Damage and range on these are tuned down a bit.
Nice.
Arrows now need to be charged.
Even that looks good. Huh? It's just the animation, the flow. When you take a look at Last Epoch and Diablo, it's just The difference is huge in the animation, just the overall quality. And then you have that other game, that Path of Exile 2, that looks better, and the responsiveness is better there too. Now you have no Rest for Wicked. To me, right now, in the state all of those games are in, Diablo 4 is at the bottom. They have, of course, the budget for the cutscenes and all that, and they have the budget for the gameplay too, but so far it seems like all these indie games it feels a lot better. I might be wrong, I haven't played Diablo 4 lately, but what I've seen, even of the expansion, it's not that good. And I don't think they did anything about the flowness of the combat and the animation. The animation feels maybe a little more stiff. The flow isn't quite there.
Fact. But overall, this brings back the fluidity and pacing you loved pre-Breach, while still keeping things balanced. And we have also improved combat responsiveness across the board. You can now change targets during attack windups, which makes fighting groups of enemies feel way more responsive.
Ooh,
especially
yes.
when you're weaving between enemies and looking for openings.
Better rewards and more activities. Better rewards,
Another piece
Vikings.
of feedback we got: hey, I climbed that ledge, dodged 2 traps, and got a single mushroom for all my trouble. Well, that's fixed. In this patch, we're attacking these hard-to-reach spots and making sure the loot matches the effort. Expect better gear, materials, and surprise finds.
Nice. W.
We also
What
did
the
a
hell?
full pass on bounties and challenges. We
Okay.
added more variety and removed some stale or underused challenges.
Tutorials gathering and housing.
We
Housing?
studied how new players engaged with the Breach update and added new tutorials, revised early quests,
Empty stomach.
They told me to wait out here.
and introduced more context prompts. The idea is that you shouldn't need to tab out to a wiki just to understand how Wicked systems work.
Yes.
Gathering has always felt a bit flat, so we've spiced things up there as well. When farming a resource, you will now gain focus and experience, just like you would while fighting an enemy. And on top of that, we've added timing mechanics.
Huh?
Press the interact button the moment your tool hits the resource, and you'll get a bonus. More focus, more loot. Last but not least, storage.
So you have to mine and all that too? Shit, the depth of this? Interesting. I was thinking maybe V Rising, but I mean, maybe this before that?
Quality of life. Every container in Wicked now comes with its own little carpet that features various logos. This ought to make it way simpler to quickly see where you're storing your resources, gear, cooking ingredients, and so on. So no more guessing which chest holds your resources and which one's got your food.
Shit, what?
And that about wraps it up.
Huh?
The Breach Refined is a massive response to your feedback, from utility runes and realm tiers to gem extraction and gathering improvements. This patch makes the Rest for the Wicked smoother, more flexible, and more fun to explore. And what we've shown so far was only the tip of the iceberg. We're continuing to listen, and your feedback keeps making Wicked better and better. Let us know how these changes feel, and stay tuned for even more coming down the line. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back in your Solar Sacra.
Hell yeah. Huh? These are the kind of updates we want, you know? Listen, player feedback, listening to that, making the changes. I don't know the history or the story or the developers, but this is good. The Breach, refined, out now. W. Huh? Shit. Amazing so far. absolute gem. So much joy playing it. Well crafted. Diamond remains a diamond regardless of whether it's polished or not. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your efforts. The upload looks very good. I appreciate that. Your pace is great. Now close to perfect. People are fucking... They're hyped. Huh? Gets better and better. Thank you. Thank you so much for the update. Over 250 plus hours in the game. Let's go. This game is really something special. Every part of this addresses an issue that annoyed me at some point during the playthrough. I like it. People are positive about the game. They acknowledge the developers, what they're doing, what they're trying to do, what they're delivering on, and what they're showing. This is a developer we need to keep our eyes open to and supporting.